Biography of Martha Washington. Martha Dandridge Custis Washington served as the nation's First Lady, helped manage and run her husband's estates, raised her children and grandchildren, and was George Washington's worthy partner for almost 40 years. Birth, childhood and adulthood at Chestnut Grove. 1919 photo of Martha Washington's childhood home, Chestnut Grove. It continued to serve as a residence for 200 years in its original state until it burned down in November 1926, Wikimedia. The woman who would later be known as Martha Washington was born Martha Dandridge on June 2, 1731, at Chestnut Grove Plantation in New Kent County, Virginia. She was the eldest of 8 children born to John Dandridge, 1700 to 1756, the son of an English merchant, and Frances Jones, 1710 to 1785, whose father was a member of the Virginia House of Burgesses. Her education was probably typical for a girl of her class at the time and would have stressed housekeeping, religion, reading, writing, music, and dancing, skills which would be useful in her expected role as the wife of a Virginia plantation owner. Washington Custis Lee Collection, Washington, and Lee University, Lexington, Virginia. Martha Dandridge eventually grew to about 5 feet tall, with brown hair and eyes, which in portraits, appear to be brown or hazel. Early life. Marriage to Daniel Parke Custis. In her late teens, she caught the eye of Daniel Parke Custis, 1711 to 1757, who, though 20 years her senior, was one of the most eligible bachelors in Virginia. Daniel's father, John Custis IV, initially opposed the marriage, because the prospective bride's family was not as wealthy as he would have liked. He finally gave his consent after meeting Martha Dandridge, telling friends that he was as much enamored with her character as his son was with her person. Daniel Parke Custis, Oil on Canvas, 1757. She and Daniel were married in May of 1750. In their 7 years together, the couple had 4 children, 2 of whom died as toddlers. Their children were Daniel Custis, 1751 to 1754, Frances Custis, 1753 to 1757, John Jackie Parke Custis, 1754 to 1781, and Martha Patsy Parke Custis, 1756 to 1773. First marriage. Daniel's sudden death in 1757 left Martha, at the age of 26, a very wealthy widow. Leaving Martha with 2 young children, a 17,500-acre plantation to manage, and responsible for almost 300 enslaved people. Under English property laws, women could only own property if they were single or widowed. While a widow, Martha Custis managed the Custis estate and business interests. She communicated with agents in England about business matters and to order supplies. When the goods arrived in the colonies, if they were not of high quality, she complained to the English agents. George Washington. Less than a year after the death of her first husband, several men, including a militia officer less than a year younger than herself, began courting Martha Custis. Since George Washington and Martha Custis shared friends and acquaintances, it is probable they met before Martha was widowed. However, there is no record of their first meeting. George and Martha Washington were married on January 6, 1759. They, her 2 children, and several enslaved people moved to Washington's home, Mount Vernon, in early April 1759. If you would like to more about the Washingtons' courtship, you can find out next week. Till then, on February 21, 2023. Subscribe.